Don't be a Ruinous Ultimatum. It is in fact a Ruinous Ultimatum. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Sisay Shrines deck and find out what happens when multiple Ruinous Ultimatums go off. Next on Commander Replay. Welcome back everyone, playing some Sisay Weatherlight Captain today. This is a Shrines deck focused on tokens. Today's deck list comes to us from GoFundMe supporter Chris. Take a look at this opening hand, not feeling this. There's an Obliterate in this deck. We're gonna try to avoid using Obliterate. I think there's a Jokel Hops also, so if we don't have to use those, I would prefer not to, but let's take them all again right there. This feels a little bit better. We got lands, Paradox Haze, Sanctum, other Sanctum, maybe no ramp or card draw per se. Paradox Haze, Sisay can hopefully find us some stuff and do some things, so we'll see what happens. Ooh, that's a turn 1 Sarah Ascendant. That's gonna be pretty good. Who brought removal? Snake Pit. Card that is not on my radar. Whenever an opponent casts a blue spell or a black spell, create a 1/1 green snake token. Cool. Let's play this Mystic Monastery tapped, and we'll pass like that. So we are playing Sisay Weatherlight Captain, commander we've seen on the channel a bunch of times. Wooburg, tutor out a permanent if its CMC is less than Sisay's power. And we are facing off against Kenrith the Returned King, being piloted by Chaotix. Should be interesting. We'll see what he's got for us. He busted out some crazy combos earlier with Yarok today. Next up, we've got Sean piloting Moraug, Fury of Akum. Oh, we're going to need some removal. Moraug is so dangerous. You know when Tom Cruise says to Val Kilmer,
"That's right. Ice, man. I am dangerous."
It's that kind of dangerous. And then finally, Banana piloting Rick, Steadfast Leader, smash that dislike button. And I haven't seen this one in action yet. We'll see how it goes. I think it's a powerful card, but it is worth pointing out that having 4 humans in play is kind of a lot. And when you have that many creatures, people get itchy with board wipes. So we'll see how that plays out. But it looks like he's going to be doing a mono-white human aggro kind of thing. Gets himself a Soul Ring to follow up the... Oh, my. Follow all the pain up. All right, well... Sarah Ascendant and Dranith Magistrate, so commanders are off the table. And, gonna send that Sarah Ascendant over to Moraug. This might be good, because, like, this will probably take the focus off of us for a while, because this is all very scary. So, let's just, get going on our stuff here. Nothing to really do on 2. Probably gonna need to wipe the board with that Winds of Abandon. Hang out on that for a little bit. Dranith Magistrate removes the, need for us to think about playing Sisay, which is good. Uh-oh. Roiling Vortex. Yeah. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, it does 5 damage to them. That's a thing. Sisay is not a cast, it just puts it into play, which is good news, but I don't know all the other cards in this deck, what they do yet, so we will see. Archetype of Courage. Yeah, give them all First Strike, why not? A card that I always want to run and just don't. First Strike is like... Of your evergreen creature abilities, First Strike is one of the least impactful in Commander. It's not that it's useless, but of all the keywords you could have, it's probably the last one you want. Or one of the last ones. Like, the biggest thing that I really see where First Strike comes up is probably in a deck like this, where you're going to have some sort of go-wide thing, but also, if you start putting swords on stuff, First Strike can matter a little bit more. But, you know, in general, when Double Strike is an ability, you'd rather have Double Strike. It's like First Strike, but better, by twice as much. Roiling Vortex is going to get us for 1, and we'll do that to every player as this game ticks on, so puts a clock on how long this game can go as long as this stays in play. Pretty good. I've been playing some long games recently. Had that 22-turn game a few days ago. Finished like a 13-turn game earlier, so yeah. We're going to hope that no one brought the white board wipes, even though there's a mono-white deck at the table, and a Kenrith, which is 5 colors. And we're going to target ourselves with this Paradox Haze. Actually, you know what? We can shoot a thing. Does it matter? I don't know. We'll play the Sanctum. They want to blow up something. I'd rather they blow up the Sanctum than the Paradox Haze. Both cards reveal what we're doing, though. So, like, once that happens, then there's, you know, not really a way around it. It's going to be a while before the damage is high enough to, like, actually do stuff, though. Ever watching Threshold for Chaotix? Whenever an opponent attacks, if they attacked you or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Not bad. It's not bad. Where did he dig this thing up? I don't even know what set this is out of. Cleansing Wildfire, you say? Gonna destroy the Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. Opponent gets a basic land in its place. Yeah, I guess that is a really good card in Moraug, by the way, because you can landfall yourself if you need to. And he didn't appreciate that, so he's gonna wasteland Sean's Valakut. This mono white deck coming out of the gates pretty hot. It's unfortunate because Soul Ring is what allows him to really do that. If he doesn't have a Soul Ring, he doesn't wasteland that. Oop, that's a Felidar retreat. Yep. Things about to get worse. Ever watching Threshold Triggers? Doesn't attack with the Sarah Ascendant. Probably giving us a chance to catch up because it's early. Things are serious. Does it taste of Karlov? Not ready for that yet. Let's... Do we have all the colors of mana we need? We have a Commander Tower. Yeah, we have all the colors. Play this island, play a Snake Pit, and hope the blue and the black cards start coming. May not be good. Kenrith is really our only option for that. Mono red, mono white. Not going to help us much there. 2 lands to go to Winds of Abandon. Bloom Hulk. When it enters the battlefield, proliferate. In this case, it's just a blocker. Wonder if it's a +1/+1 counters Kenrith deck? Maybe? I don't know. Glinthorn Buccaneer. Blocker for opponent. We can cast Sanctum of All this turn. They're going to swing our way. Yeah, do what you got to do. Down to 35. We are a Sisay deck, so... You know, my Legendary Blade Sisay started as, like, a fairly chill, casual deck, and then just by the course of, like, making updates to it, I've realized how strong Sisay really is. Going to get the thing you need when you need it is super powerful in Commander. So, totally understand some early aggression. Going late against the Sisay, never a good time. Opponent plays a land, gets a landfall trigger on the Felidar retreat, goes for the +1/+1 counter. Yep, pumping them up. Gonna be some damage. Opponent just sending the small ones once again. I mean, they might as well just send the big ones, because once we get into the game, it's bad for everyone else. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Sanctum of Stonefangs. What's this one do? At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. That's actually pretty cool. That'll be helpful in a few turns after we get aggroed out for a while. We do need to find a 6th land for the Winds of Abandon, though. But in the meantime, we're going to get this Sanctum of All going. So, Sanctum and pass. Hope someone else lays down a board wipe. Preferably like a Blasphemous Act style board wipe. Creatures only is what we want. KO taps out and passes. Not ideal. Was hoping for a thing off the Snake Pit. I should go look at the shrines in the deck. I don't know them that well. I guess we'll do it when our turn comes back. There's a Braid of Fire for opponent. We'll help them get a little extra mana. But it is slow. Card that I think has lost value in the past like 2-3 years with things getting so fast. Cards that take time to be effective just aren't as good as they used to be because time is no longer a resource that you have. There's a Linden. Yep. If there's a shrine that makes mana, I don't know if there is. You know, especially if it'll trigger this turn, then maybe we get that, but I don't know. We got to take a look. Opponent coming in our way. He's going to hit for 5. Oh, never mind. Only 3 coming our way. Brings it back to our turn. Sanctum of All trigger. Use the ability. Search library. What do we have? Cleansing Fire is Life Gain. Damage is okay. Tokens, maybe. Blockers are reasonable. Card draw is interesting. What's this one do? May draw X cards or X the number of more card draw. Pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any one color where X the number of shrines you control. Mana might be helpful. So I think our choices are mana, card draw, or tokens. Think I'm going to go for card draw. Let's go for Seeing Winds. There's a bringer. Do we want to bring? Maybe we do want a bringer. No one's wiped the board yet. Drop in the bringer. Let's go. Pay it for its alternate casting cost. I wish you could use these in monocolor decks. Unfortunately, you can't because of the alternate casting cost. Because, like, the white one is okay. The black one's really good. The blue one's really good. Even the red one. The red one's a little overcosted, but it's, like, fine. KO gonna send the 4/4 over to Sean. Takes the hit. Roiling Vortex, Braid of Fire trigger. Obsidian Battle Axe. Cool card. Gives a creature 2/1 in haste, and when a warrior enters the battlefield, you can equip it to it for free. Moraug is a warrior. Pretty sweet. With the Bringer and the Sanctum in play, I think we probably take a bigger attack right here. Landfall, +1/+1 counters. Yep. Pumping them up. Holds back the Sarah Ascendant once again. Yeah, they might be sad about that. Because our nonsense is just about to get going. If their follow-up isn't Austere Command, then... Opponent gains some life off the Linden trigger. Opponent taps out and passes. What a weird game. This game has been very strange. Honden Bringer Sanctum triggers. Let's use the Sanctum ability. Fortunately, I stacked them correctly. Almost didn't. Sanctum will resolve first. Use the ability. Search library. I think I'm on a token one now. Let's get a token maker. Let's get Honden of Life's Web. Go for the classic. Bringer trigger. Seeing what we have for board wipes. I mean, we could just get a land to make sure that we have the land. Yeah, we could get like Soul Ring, just to be sure. Yeah, seems good to me. Let's get a Soul Ring. And then Honden triggers, we draw a whole bunch of cards. Well, we caught all the lands. See, I wasn't sure if we were going to draw a land, which is why I got the Soul Ring, but here we are. We need to cast the Winds of Abandon. Big time. Cast the Soul Ring. Let's overload this Winds of Abandon. Chaotix is going to Lazotep Plating. Oh, I see what he's doing. So he's going to Lazotep Plating to amass one, which will give him another token, which will ramp him more. Nice. I like it. Essentially turning this Lazotep Plating into a rampant growth. Why not? Why not? So opponents are all going to ramp a bunch right here because of the Winds of Abandon. Sean lost a land, so I'm sure he's happy to get one back. The white deck is going to get many lands, which I'm sure they're not happy. Well, you know what, though? Felidar Retreat's probably just going to spit out a bunch of 2/2s. That's kind of a thing. That being the case, I might just sit back with our 2 creatures then. And we do get a snake token off of the Lazotep Plating. Yeah, there's 4 Felidar Retreat triggers. Ugh. Winds of Abandon, it gives and it takes. I'd probably go 3 and a +1/+1 counter, personally. No, I'm just going to go for 4 2/2s. I would have gone the other way on it. Unless they have a land in hand. If they have the land in hand, then maybe I go that way on it. We'll play a tap land, and we will pass like that. Try to leave up some defense for the 2/2s. Roiling Vortex continuing to trigger. We're on 4 shrines currently, so still need more shrines before we can get the second ability there. Migration Path. KO trying to ramp. We got him 2 lands. Here's 2 more lands for him. There's an Enlightened Tutor. Goes for a Mirari's Wake. It's on top of his deck. Taps out and passes. Roiling Vortex, Braid of Fire trigger. Yep. Oh no, Rack and Ruin. Gonna destroy 2 Soul Rings. 2 Masterpiece Soul Rings down. Oh god, that's like $400. Destroyed by a $1 card. Got us. Moraug into play. There it is. We should probably gain some life. Oh god, it's gonna have haste. Equip the Battle Axe. Luckily, we've got this token. It does not yet have trample. Gonna swing into KO. KO's gonna get to draw a card. It's gonna be that Mirari's Wake. Moraug pumping itself up. Takes a hit. No landfall trigger, so only the single combat. But there's a Cathar's Crusade. That's gonna be really good with the tokens. Daxos. Yep. Cathar's Crusade trigger. Yep. Does he have a land? Does not have the land. Big attack over to Moraug. Moraug is scary. Down to 6 they go. Wow. Brings it back to our turn. Roiling Vortex, Sanctum of All, 2 Hondens. Hondens on the bottom. Sanctum of All trigger. Search library. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm feeling the life gain, honestly. Do we have Teferi's Protection in this deck? Some sort of fog, maybe? Not that I'm saying. There's a Fumigate. True Conviction is life gain. That's something to think about. I don't think we're on that this turn, though. I'd probably add some sort of fog effect in here if it were up to me. Okay, that being the case, let's get... I think I'm on Cleansing Fire. Oh, but mana's good, too. I'll feel safer with Cleansing Fire. We'll go for mana after that. Bringer trigger. There's a Ruinous Ultimatum in the deck. We could Fumigate. Yeah, it probably should be Fumigate. Let's get a Fumigate. We make some tokens. There's an Idol of Oblivion. I think we're doing okay on card draw. Ooh, that's a Ruinous Ultimatum. I don't think we can cast it, though. That one only makes blue. Yeah, we're not going to have enough colored mana to cast that. Attack with this. Oh, right, it's a 3/6. This isn't going to do anything. Whoops. They block. We're going to play a Fumigate. Bunch of things getting blown up. Opponent's going to gain some life off the Daxos triggers. We go back to 31. Feel a little bit healthier now. We're going to have 2 total mana to our name. We could play like a Johnny's Welcome. Seems like it could be a pretty good idea. I don't see any Strip Mines in play. Let's get the Hall of Heliod's Generosity in just in case of a wheel. Normally I would go for a tap land, but and then we'll get the Johnny's Welcome. I want to keep our life total healthy. No life total safe with Moraug running around, so, you know. Need to discard down to hand size. We'll pitch 2 lands. Was hoping to get the Paradox Haze this turn and some of this other stuff, but the creature's feeling scary. Mirari's Wake for Chaotix. Zendikar Resurgent for Chaotix. All the mana. That's a Kenrith. Gonna draw a card. When he untaps, he'll be able to make so much mana. Whatley's Raptor. Yep, draws another card. Enters the battlefield, proliferate. No counters. Oh, he's gonna proliferate this Braid of Fire. Sure, why not? Uh-oh, opponents can't gain life this turn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Krenko into play. Puts the Battle Axe on it. It's got haste. Yeah, it's gonna make some goblins. And he's leaving up 1 red mana to prevent us from gaining life on our turn. I was very excited about all of our life gain that was probably going to happen. Gets a bunch of goblins. Yep, they take a hit for 4. Down to 44. Yeah, gaining that life. Roiling Vortex will get them. Militia Bugler enters the battlefield, look at the top 4, may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less, and put it into the hand. Triggers Cathar's Crusade. Thalia into play. Gets a counter. Ooh, Thalia is pretty good against what I was planning to do. We have a lot of cards in hand. We were hoping to cast them. Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, keep pumping that team. White Weenie aggro over there. Cathar's and Thalia's Lieutenant trigger. Bunch of triggers. All of our Hondens. Sanctum of All. Roiling Vortex. I think I'm on the mana shrine now. Yep, opponent's going to activate the thing. We can't gain life this turn. Bummer. Kind of wasted our tutor last turn with that. Get the green one. We gain no life. We're going to draw a bunch of cards, though. That we are going to do. And we draw a bunch of cards. And then we'll make a bunch of creatures. And then, yep, a bunch of triggers that aren't going to do anything. Awesome. Oh, and then this triggers. Oh my, we have so much mana now. What are we doing? What are we doing with this mana? Let's get a little bit of blue. Oh, wow, that's... I didn't want 12 blue mana. That was more blue mana than I was looking for. I mean, I was thinking just like Ruinous Ultimatum, but that, I thought it was like a choose for each. Oh, you know what we have? We have a Cascading Cataracts. Yeah, okay. Play the Cascading Cataracts, and that'll help us filter some of that mana down into things that we need. Let's go white, 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 red, or black, black. Yeah. And then we'll cast this Ruinous Ultimatum. Red and red. Blow up everything that's not ours. Down it goes. Cast a Paradox Haze, targeting ourselves. Let's Estrid's Invocation on the Paradox Haze. That one legendary, that one's legendary. Click object to attach aura to. Oh, right, player. That's us. Yep. Okay, we've done that. Oh, could have played a Field of the Dead at some point, too. Let's get this thing. This thing makes tokens. Seems like a plan. Let's do some attacking. Oh, right, they don't have haste. We over by a little bit. Discard a land. Discard. I think we're doing okay on card draw. Get rid of the idol. Pass like that. Chromatic Lantern. Leyline Tyrant for opponent. Mask of Memory. Bounty Agent. Can sacrifice it to blow something up. Seems pretty good. Oh, we're about to have a wild turn, by the way. There's an Odric Master Tactician. Yeah, that's a good one. Emergent Zone. KO can do stuff at instant speed. Don't be a Ruinous Ultimatum. It is, in fact, a Ruinous Ultimatum. Well, our ridiculous turn is not going to happen the way we wanted it to, and it's going to take us forever to rebuild now. Fantastic. We do get a token. Before that happens, we gain a life. And then all of our stuff gets blown up. Ew. This is going to be terrible. I'm going to stop on our upkeep real quick. So one of the things I'm thinking about is getting the green shrine back, because mana is good. To do that, we would need to do that, and then, what is it, 4? It's only 3? Wow. Undercosted much? So it'll be 5 total mana. We'll have a... Does this come in tapped? That comes in tapped. Yeah, I think we do that. I think we try to get the mana going again. Get the Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Put it back on top. Draw the Sanctum. Play the Sanctum. Play this Black Sanctum. Drop in Field of the Dead. Oh, we get a 2-2. We've got a blocker. Pass like that. Will Kenrith. Gonna partner for Rowan. Fortunately, it affects creatures, which we don't really care about that much in this deck. Like, if we try to get Sisay, we might, but because we can just spit out a bunch of tokens, it's not the most impactful against us. Most of my decks get crushed by that +2. Not this one, though. A Johnny the Greathearted coming into play. Creatures you control have vigilance. Sure. Gain some life. Put a loyalty counter on a Planeswalker. That's the thing, too. I'm gonna make this an 0-3. It's fine. I guess we can't pressure the Planeswalker with it, but gains 3 life. Moraug back to play. Yep, it is once again scary. It's always scary. One of the things I'm noticing, they have all basics, and this is where a spicier mana base can help. If they had like a Bonder's Enclave or something like that. The new one, War Room, is also going to be pretty good, just to draw some extra cards. Even Makokoro and Gaia Reach are both great for this part of the game where things have slowed down and you're low on resources. Skull Clamp for opponent. Going to cast his commander finally. Interesting that we haven't seen Rick up to this point, because they did have some pretty good board states at parts of this game. Equips it. Yep. Taps out and passes. Brings it back to our turn. We're going to Hall of Heliod's Generosity once again. What are we getting? I think Paradox Haze. Brings it back to our turn. Sanctum of Stonefangs and Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest both trigger. So we drain opponents 2, and we get to choose a color. We have a number of blue cards, a couple black cards in hand. I guess we'll choose blue. 2 blue mana. Keep getting them shrines in. Paradox Haze on ourself. We should, like, be a little bit careful with Moraug. Maybe think about getting a blocker. Like Golos? Or do we just go full shrine power? I'm going to expose us for a turn and just make sure we get a whole bunch of shrines in here, because I think that's where we want to be. Honden's pretty dirty. Opponents don't have that many cards in hand, so we'll go for the blue one. Pass like that. Sit on our O3. Hope it keeps us safe. Rowan Kenrith into play. Yep. Fabricate for opponent. What are they getting? Silent Arbiter. Oh, that's so bad for our tokens. Got us. Opponent's going to goad us. We're not going to have our zombie blocker. That's not great. This becomes an 0-3 again, as does Rick. You know, I might have done that on the Moraug. I don't know if they're planning to try to gang up on us. They might be. Oh, yep, he says, do you plan on swinging my way? He said no. Okie dokie. Moraug dodging the Kenrith ability. A Valakut exploration. Yeah, seems reasonable. That is card draw. They could use it badly. Moraug into the mono white player. Okay. I'd block right here and get the card draw. They need cards. Does Sean have a land? Does not have the land. No landfall. So in all likelihood, he's going to die to Sanctum of Stonefangs. There's a Thalia for opponent. Thalia is fairly safe. It does make our tokens come in tapped, which it's not the best. It's not them just overrunning us and winning the game. Not that that's easy to do in a white deck. The red deck is much scarier with like big explosive plays. Never know when like an insurrection or a mob rule is going to show up and just like, oh, we're all going to die now. White doesn't really have that same type of explosive potential, and that's one of the things that I've talked about a lot in the past, is that there needs to be some white cards that can end the game in a hurry. Angel of Destiny is a step in the right direction. I don't know if they're running that, but they still need to gain some life, even if they are. So 34 to 50 isn't that bad. Or is it 55? I think it's 55. They would need to gain 20, but with the double strike, it's not that hard to do. Yeah, it's going to be back to our turn. We're about to have a pretty good turn. The turn after, it'll be wild if this turn pans out. So, Paradox Haze trigger. Oh, are these ones all the main phase? These ones are all the main phase. Bummer. Well, that's disappointing. We should probably get Sanctum of All back then. I don't know. We probably need some tokens. Let's get Life's Web. Yeah, I totally forgot that all the new Hondens are main phase. Whoops. There's a Life's Web. There's all of our triggers. We will add some black mana, I guess. Sean goes down. We get to draw some cards. There's a Beast Within. Ooh, Diabolic Intent. Thran Dynamo. We need to discard a card. We can live without this Tesa right now, I think. Thran Dynamo. Life's Web. We have enough for reach. We do not. We have enough to sit on a Beast Within, which is probably a pretty good idea. So we'll do that. Oh, we're forced to attack, aren't we? Not great. Not great. Send the 0-3 at Chaotix. We could Beast Within the Thalia to get our creatures untapped if we feel like we're very threatened by creatures. But there is a Silent Arbiter in play, so we'll see. Gonna use that Kenrith ability once again. Oh, hits the Thalia. Okay, we're good on that. Kenrith into play. He's got a lot of lands over there. He can make some Kenrith plays if he wants to. He's gonna gain 5 life. It's not a bad idea. Gonna gain 5 more life. Yep. Trying to get himself healthy. Silent Arbiter coming our way. Yep. For a moment, I thought this game was going to be over in a hurry, and it is really slowed down now. One Ruinous Ultimatum later, and we are very slow to rebuild. Yep, attack's coming our way. It's only going to be for 1. Changes their mind. Going to send both to Will Kenrith. Oh, yeah, that's probably about to ultimate. Whenever a player gets an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you make, oh, yeah, I don't know if we want that to happen. Probably going to have to Beast Within that. All right, they're going to send 1 our way. That's fair. This one's also ready to ultimate. Eee. Force of Virtue. Surprise! Got us. Oh, man. I was so disappointed in that. I wanted the green one to be white. I really wanted the white one to be like another Return to Dust, basically. And, nope, they made it green instead. Pretty annoyed about it. I do believe we need to start shooting some Planeswalkers, though. Shoot this, Kenrith. The Will Kenrith, that is. Paradox Haze, Honden trigger. Upkeep again. More tokens. From Beyond. Ooh, fun card. Our Sanctums trigger. We drain opponents a bit. We're going to make some mana. Let's go for a green, I guess. And we'll draw some cards. We need to discard 1. How many lands do we have in the graveyard? 1, 2. We discard another 1, 3. That'd be like 4 lands. Seems pretty good to me. There's an Enchantress Presence. That's pretty good. Let's get that into play. Let's get Splendid Reclamation. Turn a bunch of lands. Field of the Dead's going to trigger for us 4 times. Sweet. Play From Beyond. Oh, I forgot to get in the thing back this turn. Whoops. Guess we can do that next turn. Draw a card. Dreadhorde Invasion. Play a Dreadhorde Invasion. Enchantress Presence. Draw a card. It's a land. Excellent. Was hoping to make that land drop. Play the land drop. Puts us on 4 mana. We've already used that thing. Could cast the Honden. Could just look to get another one back. Yeah, maybe we'll put one back at the end step. We'll probably get like maybe the Sanctum. That is a Rowan Kenrith emblem. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. Seems good. 2 Ajani triggers. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Also, there's a Kenrith in play with a bunch of mana. KO putting counters on stuff. Shalai into play. Comes in tapped. Can add more counters. Yep. Sarkin the Masterless. Whenever a creature you control attacks, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. Interesting. Makes a dragon. Makes 2 dragons. Yeah, he's got an army. We are not well suited to flying blockers. Bitter Blossom. Thing that we might want to look at. Also thinking about that, well, we got Time Wipe. Probably going to have to Time Wipe. 5/5 coming our way. Hexproof and Vigilance. We will throw a blocker in front. Does this deck have a Replenish? It does not. I looked it up. Replenish is on the reserve list and approximately $95 right now. So that's a very legitimate reason to not have one, because that's really expensive. That was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, does this deck have Replenish? We can get all our stuff back. And like, oh, wait, no, that card is very expensive. Does it have the other one? Does it have the 6 mana one? It does not. I might look into that, actually. Having some way to mass reanimate the enchantments. There's also the new Mythic White out of Commander Legends that'll do essentially the same thing. For all of your, non-creatures, non-lands, I think, is more or less what it does. Opponent sends in Rick. Rick eats a 5/5. Opponent taps out and passes. Not much happening over there. Doesn't feel great. Oh. Banana has scooped. Tired of the long slog. I get it. There's no way that, he is able to recover from really what's going on here, I don't think, so I get it. And me and KO are just gonna, dirtle until the end of time here, so rough place to be. From Beyond gets us a trigger. We get all of our upkeep stuff. Honden gonna make some tokens. Dreadhorde Invasion, make a thing, lose a life. Oh, we forgot to do the thing at the end step. Whoops. Let's get the Sanctum. Let's go to our second upkeep. Let's get our Sanctum triggers. Add a bunch of mana. Looks like we need some black mana. Draw some cards. What are we getting rid of? Ooh, that's helpful. That is very helpful. Beastmaster Ascension is also helpful. Discard a card. We can get rid of Honden of Night's Reach. We may actually be able to close this out this turn. Other Sanctum triggers drains them a little bit. Destroy artifact. Oh, they're all hexproof. Here we go. Here we go. Let's play a Diabolic Intent. Sacrifice a creature. See if we can get rid of the hexproof thingy. Nothing. Nothing without just wiping the board again. Could put a Blackblade Reforged on something. Tap. No, that doesn't help. Does not help. Okay. I guess get the Red Honden, I guess? Probably our best bet. Get Bitter Blossom. Draw a card. It's the... Ooh, Whip of Erebos. Any creatures that matter that we can reanimate? Probably not. Very few creatures in this deck. Yeah, definitely none that are removal, so that's not the best. We can use this Dragon Throne of Tarkir, I guess. Let's get the Divine Visitation into play. Enchantress Presence. Draw a card. Play land. Field of the Dead. I mean, do we have to Time Wipe? Yeah, I guess we Time Wipe. I'm not going to have haste, though. I don't love that. Play Beastmaster Ascension. Ooh, there's an Assemble the Legion. Play Time Wipe so we don't die. Do we have any solid creatures out here? We don't. Oh, I totally could have sacrificed some of those Eldrazi for mana. Whoops. Whoops. 2 mana left. I guess that's good. I guess we just sit on the Return to Nature if we need to. Force our creatures to attack. Yep. KO doing a bunch of Planeswalker stuff. Getting all of his things going. Yep. Copy all those Planeswalker abilities. There's 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Probably going to take some damage here. Kenrith back to play. Yep. Going to draw himself some cards. Sure. All gets copied. Sending them in. Yep. We're going to lose some life. No blockers. Brings it back to our turn. Upkeep triggers. Make a bunch of tokens. And Paradox Haze. Oh, and these are all 4/4s now. That's actually helpful. That will help close us out much sooner. It gives us flying blockers. Big flying blockers, which is nice. I'm going to Hall of Heliod's Generosity for... Actually, do we have a Sanctum? No, Sanctum didn't make it. I'm going to get Cleansing Fire. We now have a lot of 4/4 angels. There's the Cleansing Fire. Here's the mana. Red, I guess? Drain them a little bit. Draw a bunch of cards. Oh, there was a generous gift in the deck. I totally missed that. Well, didn't see the generous gift. Could have ended it last turn. Oops. Feeling okay without the Chromatic Lantern. Discard that. Let's get Assemble the Legion. Draw a card. Outlaw Merriment. Generous gift Kenrith. Sanctum of All. Let's do it this way. Let's use our Thran Dynamo, feed it into the Cascading Cataracts. Get one of each. Play the Sanctum of All. Enlighten Tutor. Play Dragonthorn of Tarkir. I meant to play the Cleansing Fire is what I meant to do, but I think I also meant to play the Whip in there somewhere too, but I got confused about what I was doing. I guess that's all right. Play the Grand Colosseum. And pass turn. Discard to hand size. I think we got most of the things we need. We could probably live without Enlighten Tutor. There's the Damnation. Oh. KO said he's been trying to assemble the Legion and Divine Visitation for a while. Yeah, it's tough to get them both. They're both a little bit slow, a little bit clunky. They aren't immediately impactful necessarily. People like to shoot them when they can. So a deck like this is just like geared to go late. We just get all this free value and things get ridiculous. Turning these back into creatures. Yep. Seems good. I don't even know what these triggers are, but I assume they're bad. Oh, yeah, they're getting pumped up now. They're all 6/6s. Ooh. I wish I got that in last turn. That's actually scary. We need haste. We don't have haste. In comes the attack. We go down to 6. I definitely lost focus over the past, 2 turns or so. That is definitely a thing that's happened. Need to focus back up here, otherwise we're going to lose this game. I really thought this was going to be a quick game, and then it is just, slowed down. Carry added. He's going to tap out and pass. I don't think we can kill him in one shot. And I'm actually a little bit worried that, we're going to lose life and then lose more life on the life loss stuff. It's a little bit scary, honestly. Sanctum of All trigger. What are we getting? Oh, we could get this one and then just, shoot him in the face. That might be a better way to go about it. Yeah, I think I like that. Oh, does that pull him back from the graveyard, too? Am I an idiot? Yeah, search your graveyard. Oh, we could have just been getting these back from the graveyard the whole time instead of doing the whole hoop that we, Whoops. Just noticed that. Definitely going to be some comments about that. Oy. Back to our upkeep. More stuff. Assemble the Legion. Yeah, it's making a lot of angels. Making a lot of angels. We are down to 2. It's a little bit scary. Use this ability. Get a Honden, I guess. There's the Jokal Hops. Going to try to avoid that if possible. Double triggers on our other stuff. Sanctum of the Stone Fangs will trigger. Should get us some life back and drain them a bunch. Bunch of mana. There's some red. Here's some blue. Drain them. Down to 14. Oh, we're draining for 7. Yeah. Here we go. This is how we finally finish this game. Draw a bunch of stuff. Use the ability. Discard. Merciless Eviction. Draw more stuff. Discard the Mana Vault. Where's that red one at? There it is. Creatures or planeswalkers only. Well, we can shoot the planeswalkers. Seems relevant. Well, we're back to 16. Really need some haste. Can we find 7 damage anywhere? Yeah, shoot the planeswalkers. Discard this Honden. Actually, we can discard the lands too. Shoot that one. Discard a land. Shoot that one. Discard a land. I don't think we need to do anything else. I'm just going to pass. Discard a whole lot of lands. Gonna proliferate and draw a card. Yep. We have give or take about 30 angels in play. They are 4/4s. That is a lot of damage. Kenrith back to play. Yep, gonna gain some life. It'll get copied. Brings it back to our turn. I'm just gonna F6. I guess we have to put them all on the stack still, but it's going very slowly now. Oh yeah, it's freaking out. Use the ability. Get the red shrine. Second upkeep. Yeah, it's having so much trouble. I kind of want to get there with the attack, so I'm not going to shoot him in the face, which I could. Use the ability. Get this one. Triggers resolving. Oh no, we drew from an empty library. I got too greedy. I wanted to go for the combat damage. I should have just shot him. I forgot how many cards were left in our library. Whoops. I still think we can call this one a win, because we were obviously going to win on this turn. I just got a little bit greedy and made some pretty bad plays along the way, honestly, so take that for what it's worth. But anyway, let's take a look at this deck. So thinking about a couple things we can do with this deck. Overall, I really like the deck. I thought it played really well. The game plan was pretty clear. Get your shrines, then wipe the board at the first sign of any trouble, and then just grind everyone out until they run out of stuff and your tokens can get there. Couple things I'd like to see. I felt like the deck was maybe a bit narrow on like utility and a few things. I missed that generous gift. If I did see that earlier in the game, we could have just ended the game right there, I think. Would have been nice. Probably would have saved 20 minutes off this game. But a few things I felt like they were lacking are haste for the creatures. And I think a good way to do that might be Hammer of Perforos, because it is legendary and you can just tutor it out with Sisay if you get into a situation like the one we were just in. Another thing, I think maybe just a little more protection for the enchantments. So any sort of Boros Charm, Heroic Intervention, or Teferi's Protection type card is going to make sure you don't get hit with that big enchantment board wipe, because that's the thing you really fear when playing this deck is the big enchantment board wipe and some really explosive play where opponent takes you out in one shot, or just someone comboing off. One of those three things are basically what you're worried about. So, I would add one of these protection spells or two. Boros Charm is the cheapest of the bunch, I think, so probably go that way. Those are probably the main things. Oh, and maybe just a Mass Reanimate for enchantments. So Open the Vaults is the obvious one, and the new White Mythic is on the way. Will be out in a few short weeks. So these are probably the main changes that I would make. I felt like maybe we were a little light on ramp. There's a ramp card. There's a ramp card. Yeah, let's count up our ramp. All right, so we'll move these 3 cards. We'll just put these over here for now. 11 ramp cards actually isn't that bad. I think I still just wanted to see a Cultivate somewhere. It feels like you may not need card draw that badly, so like I might go Cultivate instead of Idol of Oblivion here. Well, Idol of Oblivion's free draw. Maybe you keep that one. Goblin Assault is like probably not the best token maker. Well, we'll come to that in a second. Yeah, I think the main things I just want to see are like a Cultivate and a Kodamas. They'll just give you like a nice consistency, give you the ability to kind of smooth things out, so I would add these into the deck. There's certainly some things you can do with your removal. You could have maybe just a touch more spot removal because everything is so board wipe heavy. But I think that was an aesthetic that they were going for, just like wipe the board until people run out of stuff, and eventually the tokens will get there. All right, so let's do this again. Put these there, and we'll dig out the cards that we want to add. There's an Open the Vaults, Cultivate, Kodamas, Boros Charm, and there's one more. Hammer of Perforos. So 5 cards I want to add, 5 cards we could take out. Actually, I don't know that Dragon Throne of Tarkir is that great, because it doesn't seem like the tokens are that big to begin with. I'd probably cut the Dragon Throne. I know what they're going for. They're going for, like, I have this one token, I'm going to make the rest of them huge. Without the Blackblade Reforged, it's a lot of things to ask for. I mean, I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible with the Shrine with Sisay, because you can tutor all that stuff, which is cool. I imagine there's got to be a better way to go about it, though. Essentially, you're just looking for, like, a big overrun there. And I get that's like a fun and interesting way to do it for sure. So I guess there's that. Anyway, we need to cut 5 cards. I think Goblin Assault's not doing much for me. A lot of times in the early game, tokens are blockers, and Goblin Assault doesn't really give you that ability. So I'd probably get rid of that one. We do have 10 5-drops in the deck. That is a few. But this deck kind of has its own thing going on. So, like, I get it. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Dragon Throne. Let's get rid of that. Snake Pit was not crazy good this game just because of the colors people were playing. Dreadhorde Invasion seems maybe a little underwhelming. Yeah, because it only produces 1, right? So it makes a zombie, and then that zombie just gets bigger. Eventually it gains lifelink. I think you can live without that one. Like Bitter Blossom, on the other hand, just going to keep pumping out tokens for you, and they're flyers, so Bitter Blossom, fantastic. Now, the thing to point out, too, is that, like, all of these changes are based on the fact that, like, we weren't under a ton of pressure in this game. The mono white deck kind of came out of the gates early, but was holding back just a little bit. But even still, unless they just like purely focused us, which I don't think they would have done, we still would have survived to the point where we got to the Winds of Abandon. You could potentially cut a Farseek for Cultivate Kodamas. Like, Farseek gets it'll get the Tri-lands if you have the Tri-lands, which I think I saw one. The Triomes, rather. Does ramping to 4 in this deck matter? Yeah, I guess there's a bunch of things at 4. Okay. That's kind of the question to ask, is like, how much does ramping to 4 actually matter in your deck? Still 2 cards over. Let's say Idol of Oblivion. You can live without this, I think. It's a cool card. It's definitely decent. I'm not sure what else to take out. I would need to play this deck more times to really get a feel on, like, what cards are the least impactful in the deck. And you can probably live without a Revoke Existence. It's fine. It's removal. There's other ways to go about removal, but yeah, so these are what I would add in. Again, you can kind of tinker around. If there's cards that are underperforming, I might slot these in over that instead of some of the stuff that I just cut, but The Goblin Assault doesn't do that much for me. You could probably live without that one. But yeah, I think this will give you just a bit more. This will smooth out your mana, which I really like. You want to make sure you keep it in those land drops. I was a little worried we weren't going to get to the Winds of Abandon on time. Open the Vault's going to give you something in case all the stuff gets blown up. Boros Charm gives you protection against that same thing happening, and Hammer of Perforos, a way to just tutor out some haste so that when you're making a bunch of tokens, you can just send them all. But other than that, I thought it played really well. Everything seemed really straightforward. Like, okay, we get a shrine, we make some tokens, we make some mana, then we wipe the board, and we just keep doing that until the board looks like the way we want it to look. So all makes sense to me. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.